welcome back to another edition of Coffee Break Sports. I am your sports barista, Rod the Magnificent, back with another episode of picks. And yes, I have been away for a couple of weeks with my picks, and mainly because I've been busy with Coffee and Beats material. And as you can see, if you look up above, just click that link up above and get my top 25 best albums of 2024. If you haven't watched that already, that's what I've been working on, and that's why I took a little brief break from Coffee Break Sports. So here we are, week 18 of NFL picks, and I'm gonna do something a little bit differently with this particular episode. What I'm going to do on this particular episode is I'm going to focus on the games that matter the most. And I'll do a quick rundown of who I will pick for the games that really don't quite matter. After that, I will get into the games that matter going into the playoff season. For those who have playoff implications, I'm sure you want to watch this episode to get my predictions. But before I get into that, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, and share this with your loved ones, because I'm sure they will all love to hear these NFL predictions. And we're going to get right into the games that don't matter, starting off with the Chargers and the Raiders. I have the Chargers over the Raiders in that one. Up next, we got the Texans going up against the Titans. The Texans are kind of limping into the playoffs, but I think they get a win over the Titans. Up next, we got the Colts going up against the Jags. Colts coming off a heartbreaking loss to the Giants. I have them beating the Jags this week in a game that doesn't matter. Up next, we got the Bills going up against the Patriots. I got the Bills in that one. And then the Eagles going up against the Giants. A lot of controversy with this particular game, mainly because Saquon Barkley is 100 and something yards away from breaking Eric Dickerson's record, but they are going to bench him for this final game against the Giants. What better way to break the record than against your old team? But I guess they're thinking about the championship. They're thinking about playoffs over personal statistics. And shout out to Saquon Barkley for doing that. But man, I would have loved for him to try to get that record. But I got the Eagles beating the Giants. And then I got the Cards over the Niners in a game that really doesn't matter against two very disappointing teams. Now to the games that do matter, starting with Saturday's games. Now we got a couple of big games on Saturday. We got the Ravens going up against the Cleveland Browns. If the Ravens beat the Browns, they lock up the NFC North and get the number 3 seed in the playoffs. However, if the Baltimore Ravens lose this game, that gives the Pittsburgh Steelers an opportunity to win the division and drop the Ravens down to the number 5 seed. And I don't think that's going to happen. I think the Ravens win this one easily over a Browns team that just can't wait for the season to be over. Up next, we got the showdown of the evening. We got the Bengals and Steelers, and the stakes are very high for both of these teams, especially the Bengals. All they have to do is win this one. They have to win this one on the road to keep their playoff hopes alive, because Cincinnati, they have a chance to pull off probably one of the most miraculous playoff berths that I've seen in NFL history. A team that was dead in the water, coming out of nowhere, winning their last few games, getting on a hot streak with a quarterback that should be in the MVP conversation in Joe Burrow. They see themselves here having to win a desperation game on the road against a Steelers team that hasn't really been playing well of late. Russell Wilson hasn't been cooking. He left the slap your mama season at home, and he's not been playing well. There's even been rumors of a Justin Fields comeback. I've been hearing of that kind of talk, but for him to cool that down, he's going to have to win this game. This is a big game for the Steelers, and if they can win this game, I think the Bengals season is over, but the Bengals keep their playoff hopes alive, and I got the Bengals winning this one. They are 1.5 point favorite. I think they keep that alive, and I think that makes for an interesting day on Sunday as we transition to Sunday's games. Another game that matters is the Falcons and the Panthers. Now, I know you're saying Panthers. Oh, why does a game with the Panthers matter? Well, it means a lot because the Panthers have been playing a lot better of late with Bryce Young. He's been playing very good football ever since he got benched. And the Falcons need help to win the NFC South, but also have to win to officially avoid playoff elimination. And the Falcons make the playoffs with a win and a Tampa Bay Buccaneers loss, wrapping up the NFC South and the 4th seed in the conference. And Penix looked good last week against the Commanders, almost knocked the Commanders off, had the field goal kicker. It looked good going straight ahead, but it fell kind of short, and the Falcons ended up losing to the Commanders in overtime. But if the Falcons take care of business, which they are 8.5 point favorite, then their chances are alive. But I'm gonna get back to the Falcons in a minute, because if something else happened, then that's it for the Falcons. The Commanders going up against the Cowboys. Why does this game matter? Well, the matchup is just for playoff seeding for the Commanders. Win gets them the number 6 seed, and it helps them to avoid playing the Eagles for the 3rd time in the season. And the Commanders, if they lose this game, this could allow the Packers to slide up into the number 6 seed. And Washington has lost to the Dallas Cowboys earlier this year at home. And so this could be a revenge game for the Commanders. They are a 5.5 point favorite. I got the Commanders in that one. Up next, we got the Packers and Bears. And Lord, I did not want to talk about this game, but yes, it has playoff implications. This is another playoff seeding matchup, but the Packers playoff seed falls in the hands of the Commanders. So if the Commanders lose, the Packers have an opportunity to play as the number 6 seed and would get in with the win. And the Commanders win, well, the Packers lock up the 7th seed. So if the Commanders find themselves in a comfortable position to win that game against the Cowboys, I don't see the Packers playing their starters all the way through against the Bears. I think they put in backup will come in eventually if they keep their eyes on the scoreboard and see that the Commanders are winning comfortably. The Packers are a 10-point favorite. Me personally, as a Bears fan, I feel like Caleb shouldn't play in this game, but he is going to play, and I just feel like it's pointless to play him at this point. But that's just me. I don't want to get into the Bears too deep because they don't have playoff implications. So I had the Packers beating the Bears. Up next, we got the Bucks going up against the Saints. What are the playoff implications for this one? Well, the scenario is simple. The Buccaneers. Tampa Bay clinches the NFC South with a win and make the playoffs. The Bucks also can clinch the number 3 seed as well with a win and a loss from someone else, but I'll get to that later. Up next, we got the Bucks are a 13.5 point favorite. I got the Bucks to win that one. Up next, we got the Chiefs going up against the Broncos on the road. The Broncos control all of the chaos in the final days of regular season. All the Broncos have to do pretty much is win this game, and they will make the number 7 seed, the final team in the AFC tournament. Now, if Denver loses, that opens the door for Miami or Cincinnati to get into the playoffs. Now, I'll get into Miami in a minute, but let's go to the Rams and the Seahawks. The Rams, they need to win to stay as the number 3 seed over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers if the Bucks win. And the Rams have won the NFC West already. The Seattle Seahawks are playing for absolutely nothing at this point, but the Rams still can clinch the 3rd seed with the win. Los Angeles plans to rest their starters from what I heard against the Seattle Seahawks and could fall to the number 4 seed with the loss and a Tampa Bay win. So we'll see how important Sean McVay views this game, but I got the Rams anyway. The Rams are just a better team, even if they rest their starters. The Seahawks might rest their starters. They might not even play their starters either in a season that's lost. So there's that. We got the Jets up next against the Dolphins, and the Dolphins, this means a lot because for the Cincinnati Bengals, because this game has meaning if the Broncos lose, as the Dolphins make the playoffs with a win and a Broncos loss, no matter what the Bengals do on Saturday. That's why it's important for the Bengals to win on Saturday to make things interesting on Sunday. If they don't win, then Miami gets in if the Broncos lose. So if the Broncos get eliminated, the Dolphins are free. And remember, I mentioned the Dolphins making a late run a few weeks back in some episodes. They could make a late run and try to make that final seed. So can Cincinnati. Those are the two teams that I felt like still had a chance to make the playoffs. So if the Broncos wet the bed, we'll see what happens. I got the Jets in the upset. I'm rooting for drama. I want the Bengals to make the playoffs to make things interesting, because a lot of those top seeds do not want to see the Bengals as a lower seed. That could be very dangerous for teams like the Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills. So I'm rooting for drama, okay? I want the Jets to win this game. I picked the Jets to win. We'll see what happens from there. Up next, we got the Lions. Last but not least, the Lions going up against the Vikings. This one is for everything in the NFC. Perhaps the best regular season finale we probably will ever see. The winner of this game takes the NFC North and clinches home field advantage throughout the playoffs, along with a first round bye. The loser gets dropped to the 5th seed despite having 14 wins, becoming the first 13 plus win wildcard team in NFL history. That's how loaded the NFC North was this year. 2 13-win teams going at it for all the marbles. And this is going to be very, very spectacular game. I am rooting for the Lions to win this game as a Bears fan. If the Lions win, they get the bye week, which gives the Bears the opportunity to interview Coach Ben Johnson for the starting head coaching job for the Chicago Bears. But if they lose, that means we do not get a chance to interview Ben Johnson until the Lions season is over. So I'm pushing and pulling for the Lions to win this one. The Vikings are coming in the building hot. They're coming into Detroit hot. So this makes for a very, very good matchup. But I think the Lions win this one. They are a 3-point favorite. And those are my picks, and I'm sticking to them. And thanks for tuning in to this final NFL Picks episode of the 24-25 season. I am your sports barista, Rod the Magnificent. Thanks for tuning in to all of these pick episodes. I'm glad it's been getting some good reception, so I appreciate all the support. Also, I appreciate all the support for Coffee and Beats as well. Appreciated all of you all's feedback to my list. It's been getting positive reviews, so check that out. So that episode is also, I'm gonna put it down in the description box below as well, so you can backtrack and watch that episode. But I'm out of here. Enjoy all of the NFL action this week. I will have my playoff wildcard predictions episode for next week, so tune in for that. But with that being said, I am your sports barista, Rod the Magnificent. When it comes to coffee, when it comes to sports, stay grounded for life. I will see you on the next one. Peace.